Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. This is a deep analysis, of course, that we do every week, and we do it once per week, of course, where we go with a wide study and analysis over every time frame of Bitcoin. And of course, to catch all the possible scenarios between bearish and bullish. And we are going, of course, to say what is the most probable scenario. Don't forget, of course, to support the channel with a like and subscribe for more updates, and leave your comments and questions below. I would be glad to answer it. So starting with the monthly chart, we can see on the monthly chart that in our parabolic study here, we have still a little gap here on the monthly chart that we have to fill in order to close our curve, our parabolic curve, starting from the birth of Bitcoin, of course, since 4 cycle at least. So this little gap is our wave 5 that we are expecting after looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 and a wave 5 to finish this impulse of 5 waves towards the upside. Now, of course, as you can see in every cycle, we have done, of course, already an impulse where we can see here 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5, finish the cycle 1, another correction for ABC. Then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well, another correction ABC. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the last cycle where we see a wave 5 towards the upside, and then ABC. And of course now we are repeating the same impulse towards the upside. However, as you can see, the parabol direction of the price is of course curving, and it starts to go a little bit sideways. So our expectations, of course, for the next cycle that Bitcoin might be ranging sideways. So, however, when it is gonna range sideways, it is possible that we are ranging in between the 60 and the $120,000 for Bitcoin. However, this is what we are looking for. Much more possibility is, of course, the highest possibility is to fill this gap and hit, of course, the 1.618, of course, taken from the last impulse here, the last cycle to the top, where we want to reach, of course, this 1.618. However, of course, there is always a bearish scenario in the opposite of the bullish, because with Elliott Wave analysis, we have to always consider both directions, right? And then catch the highest possibility between them. Since we said that the highest possibility, of course, is for the bullish to finish a wave at 5, let's see a little bit, take a look, of course, what is the possibility of our bearish scenario. So our bearish scenario could be that you have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves towards the upside in a diagonal, where you have, of course, finished a impulse with 5 waves, and then you are looking for a big corrective wave as ABC. Your target for an ABC is around the 22,200, where you want to hit the 1-to-1 fib level taken from the start of the A to the end of the A and to the start of the B, giving you, of course, a wave C at 1-to-1 for 22,200 almost. In that case scenario, of course, you want to see an impulsive wave towards the downside as 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. And if you want to catch, of course, here a an impulsive wave, it is much more less possibility that you can get a wave C, a big wave C towards the downside. So this is your wave 1 here. In case we are in a big scenario towards the downside, we were saying that our possibility as bearish scenario, the most bearish scenario, is to have a 1 and 2, right? This is your 1, 2, and you want to go impulsively towards the downside, where you want to see, of course, another 5 waves towards the downside, moving, of course, very volatile and with a big momentum towards the downside, which we did not see first so far. Now we are looking for 3 waves, and we are looking for a very high wave that we saw yesterday as a nice rally towards the upside. Therefore, possibilities of this scenario to go bearish as a 1-2 is very low. What make it much more lower is the expanding diagonal that we have here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which it could be an expanding diagonal. However, it is very rare that it works as an expanding diagonal. By all means, this could be as well as A, B for 3 waves and a C. Therefore, it could be simply a zigzag as we see now for our wave 4. So back to the weekly chart. After looking at this possibility, which is very low to go down, now with this wave C, it is much more higher possible to go towards the upside, especially with this long range for a wave 4 here, where we have a lot of correction here, which it could be much more than enough for this cycle, of course, to move on towards the upside. So looking at our weekly chart here, if you remember our pattern that we had on the daily chart for our impulse towards the upside, of course, it shouldn't work 100% the same. However, if we took this impulse, which was taken from the wave 1 to our wave 5 here, because 70% based on Elliott Wave theory, the wave 5 should match the wave 1 in price and time. And if we take a closer look at it, we can see that the first wave have worked perfectly, where we can see 1, 2. However, we had already here a bigger 1, 2, and we are possibly now looking towards the upside to fill, of course, these gaps there, right? Even knowing that on the time we are a little bit late, but that is not, of course, this is a prediction. This is not something that it should work 100% with it. However, it would be nice now to see a very nice momentum going with a wave 3 towards the upside. Looking at our also weekly analysis, I would like to mention here this scenario where we saw, of course, our base channel for the weekly analysis. And let's take a look, where are we now from this acceleration channel or base channel, where we can see yesterday it was a beautiful rally exactly from the midpoint of our acceleration channel and moving towards the upside after having a 1-2 rejection and then move up, and then now again rejection, and then we are moving up. So this is a really nice thing to see, that we are following and respecting the base channel, and we are still in a very, very nice impulse towards the upside and looking for 1-2, 1-2, and possibly 3-4, 5-4, 5. This is regarding our base, our weekly for the channeling. Now, if we look at our 100K scenario on the daily chart, where we want to see, of course, the possibilities, the highest possibilities between bearish and bullish. So on the daily chart, of course, as you said, the same on the monthly, where we saw a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are looking for a wave 5. Now your wave 4 has, of course, has bottomed on the 0.5 fib level perfectly for a wave 4, a perfect fib level for a wave 4. We have bottomed as A, B, and a C. Now it is you can see here, and in a question mark, is it the C here? That opens another scenario here, right? However, the most possible scenario is that we have bottomed here with ABC, and we are looking to 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5. Basically, if that is the case scenario, which is the highest possibility here, we are looking, of course, for a very high momentum for a wave 3, where we want to reach, of course, our wave 3 or 3 here around 81,419. This is, of course, your first target as the 1.618 of your wave 3 of 3. After this, you want to seek for a wave 4 and then moving towards the upside for a 5, and then one last F4 and F5. Now your minimum target, the minimum target of your full impulse here to reach is the 89,320. This is your minimum target, right? Because of course we could take the 1-2 here extension. It's gonna give you also around here. However, this wave 5 is gonna be very, very extended. Basically, because we saw a very small wave 1 relative on the wave 3, and we might see a longer wave 5. However, other possibilities here. So this is your first, of course. Let's put the possibilities here, and yeah. So here we go. This is your highest possibility for the bullish scenario, where we have, of course, a 100K scenario after finishing, of course, after hitting the 0.78, where we have hit here exactly. And yeah, so here we go, 70% that we go higher. Your wave C cycle correction is very, very low at 10%. So yeah, it's nothing to match here. So another scenario as a bullish, you might be also in an A, B, and a C, right? You might be also finished here for your wave 4, and your wave 1 might be a diagonal, okay? So we might be here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And finishing only your wave 1 here, and we are it is very possible that we go back down 3 waves toward the downside and then move up again. However, everything is possible, guys. Everything is possible, right? If we hit these fib levels at 68,000, between 68,000 and 70,800, these are your wave 1 diagonal, in diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, after this, we want to see a correction. However, if we see a small, when we hit this level and we see a small rejection and then another impulse towards the upside, then of course, this is your signal that you are moving, more over towards the upside. In case we see, of course, a rejection, because we might slice this very easily and move up directly. However, if the possibility that we want to reject here, then you will form another 1-2 here. So we will have a triple 1-2, 1-2s, and then move up towards the upside. In case we are just diagonal, then we have to move in a big wave towards the downside. So you will know directly that from your impulse here, if you get 5 waves towards the downside, very, very strong 5 waves towards the downside, therefore you are very, very corrective, and you want to seek for a zigzag for more lower prices. Therefore, of course, trading this, you need to watch the educational videos, how to trade Elliott Wave, how to make a profit here, right? Don't forget your profit. And then, of course, continue with the next price action, whether it is to go towards the upside or to the downside. So, yes, this is your second scenario for a bullish scenario where we want to hit a diagonal, which is also very high because, of course, this target is very closer as than your wave 3. So don't forget, we have 2 targets here, right? So another scenario is where wave C in a diagonal shape of expanding flat finishing X in WXY. Exactly. So this is the question mark where you see this one here as potential wave C has ended here. And that means that you might have a B, and a C where your C has finished here and not there. And in that case scenario, you have 3 waves up and then 3 waves down, right? And then you need 5 waves towards the upside where you can see a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your diagonal wants to hit, of course, this level for expanding flat in wave C, where you can see also that the targets here are very, very close to each other's, right? So you have to always be sure that we are not, we cannot really get sure before we get to this price and see the reaction of it, right? If we move down very impulsively, then okay, we have closed an expanding flat and we might have a bigger zigzag yet as a bearish scenario again, right? A short-term bearish scenario where you want to finish a WXY and then move up again, right? So as I said, there is no bullish scenario 100% in Elliott Waves as well. There is always a possibility of bearish scenario where you want to expect it, that it can start, by the way. It cannot start from here or from there. Your short-term bearish scenario for now should start from these levels, okay? If you want to be bearish or you are looking to sell, you have to wait for these targets, okay? Because these are your most possible targets area where you can start to catch a zigzag towards the downside. Before this, it is kind of like very, very, very low possibility, okay, before this. So, yeah, don't forget, this is a very, very important area then, of course, to break this and move towards our wave 3 of 3 towards the 81,400. So, between the 76,120 and the 68,000, this is the area where it is kind of like the danger zone where it is very possible that we move back towards the downside, because you have two scenarios where you have a diagonal, possible diagonal for a wave 1 and you want to seek for a wave 2 and then continuation, or possible scenario where you are in A, B and a C flat after a zigzag and you are seeking for the last zigzag as a third structure for a W, X and Y. So by all means, guys, these are your TPs, okay? And you need to watch the price action. And of course, this channel covers always updates and studies what is going on, what are the possibilities. Are we corrective? Are we impulsive? What are the next targets? This channel here, of course, will cover all the updates. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned with the updates so you get very fast decisions to make, of course, based on these possibilities. So now these are our scenario as bullish, guys. So even if we are A, B, and a C, you are bullish. This is a very, very long way towards this target. You have 20%, right? So therefore, of course, this one is bullish so far. Until we hit it and we rejections, then we start to call it as a bearish. Now, your bearish scenarios, of course, these were the bullish scenarios where you can see we are in a very, very nice area still to move towards the upside. We need to catch this zone. Definitely, it is it's very low possibility to go down from this zone until, of course, we reach the 68,000. So your possibilities for bearish scenario is a small expanding flat in WXY. If you remember the scenario, of course, it's not invalidated yet, but it's kind of like very, very low possibility, especially after the rally of yesterday. So, but what I mean with this is, let's remove the bullish scenarios. Let's open the bearish scenario, where we are looking for this wave towards the downside, where, of course, you might be a 1-2 here, or possibly a 1-2-1-2. This is what we have explained yesterday in the micro analysis, where we are possibly in 1-2-1-2, and then we move impulsively towards the downside for these fibs level. However, we have explained this yesterday in the micro analysis that this is a very, very low possibility. And if you go back, of course, to the micro analysis made yesterday, you will understand that we had to take this as a zigzag here, and this is as another zigzag, and also here as another zigzag, finishing in WXY, 3 corrective structure, and moving up. And of course, this is now showing up that the correction has already done almost after a triangle here, as expected also in this micro analysis, where I said, okay, it is very necessarily to have a correction, which is awesome to see only a triangle and then moving up towards the upside. So these are the possibilities, which is very, very low now for a bearish scenario, right? Where you have just 20% for this scenario, because of course we are moving up and we are very close to invalidated. So the other possibility is your zigzag after expanding flat, which I already explained it just in the bearish scenario, where you have to first to finish this expanding flat around the 70 or 68,000 and then move down for a zigzag towards the downside. So this one has been already explained, where we want to see, of course, a scenario. I don't know why this is wrong here. ABC, exactly. So so this is your scenario where you want to finish A, B, and a C, and you want to finish your wave C as an expanding flat and then move down towards the downside with a zigzag. So this is your most possible scenario as bearish, as I said, but you need to reach higher prices first, so you can make this work as bearish scenario, and it has 30% of course after reaching this, while all bullish scenario has 70% towards the upside. So these are the possibilities, guys. Of course, our highest possibility now, first, I mean, this is your targets now. First, you want to finish, make sure that you are not in a wave 1 for a diagonal, as let's go back here. You want to make sure that you are not just a wave 1. That means in diagonal, you are wave 1 here, and then you want to move down and then move up again for wave 2, 3. So this is your first targets here, between 68 and 70,000. You want to make sure you are not in an expanding flat after A, B, and a C. You have A, B, and a C. Your expanding flat is around, target is around here, between the 76,000 and the 72,000. This is your expanding flat target. So this is your TP2, guys, right? So you have TP1, TP2, and finally you want to hit the, of course, after breaking all these levels towards the upside, of course you want to hit your 81,000 for a wave 3/3, which is, of course, would be awesome for a 100k scenario. So this is your TP3. By all means, you have TP1, TP2, and TP3, right? In case you want to trade this, of course, no financial advice. You can watch the educational videos to know what do I mean with this. Alright, guys, so that's it for the deep analysis of Bitcoin. These are all the possible scenarios. I mean, not all of them. Of course, there is a lot of scenarios, guys, that we can open, but yeah, it would be overwhelming, the analysis, and yeah, it would be not really nice to see all these scenarios where it plays very, very minor possibilities. One scenario which I will mention it just like that, where we might be also having like a diagonal towards the downside. However, this is going very, very nicely towards the upside to invalidate it soon, hopefully. So once we invalidate this diagonal, once this wave becomes, of course, bigger than this one, than your wave 2, then of course we are going to invalidate our scenario. And looking, of course, at the 1 hour chart here, you can see that we have finally got our correction that I was waiting for it yesterday. We need this range because we need to have a barrel reading, right? We need to see a 1, 2, 3, and a 4 with a triangle, which is a perfect, it's a perfect pattern for a wave 4 as triangle, and then moving up with a wave 5 towards the upside. Of course, this is gonna played again as 1 and 2, and then a move, of course, for higher prices. Especially on the Monday, we might open very, very bullish. So that's it for Bitcoin. For the 1 hour chart as well, you can see here the count on the 15-minute chart, where we can see a clear triangle where you have the zigzag, 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 zigzag for A, B, C, D, E, finishing your E here, and then a boom toward the upside. Okay, guys, so I wish you to have a nice weekend. As I said, this weekend I will not be available. I will try my best, of course, to add some updates for tomorrow. But yeah, it would be a little bit hard for me because I'm not at home, and usually I use my PC here to make the analysis for you guys. I will have my laptop, which is not really prepared or ready for analysis and for YouTube videos and so on. However, I will try my best, of course. So I wish you a nice weekend, to have a nice weekend. Enjoy your time and enjoy the bull run until our targets that we mentioned for our bullish possibilities. See you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.